What's up, everybody? I'm Daniel Dewey, and I like automation. Today, we actually got two main things on the agenda. One is I'd like to create a OpenStack OpenRC generator. This will not only create the OpenRC file, but also the clouds.yaml that Ansible will use to configure everything else, or be able to log into OpenStack and configure everything else. The next thing I'd like to get to, hopefully starting in this session, is to actually fill out or start filling out and automating the deployment of Glance inside of OpenStack. Um, so actually, one thing I would actually like to point out real quick is I've started doing some documentation and putting it up on my website, automatedbits.com. And I've actually got it right up here, Fog Architecture. Um, the reason I call it Fog, as you could probably figure out right here, is that it's a private cloud in basement. And of course, if you know your weather patterns, low-lying clouds is just fog. So eventually, I'd like to create an acronym out of it. So suggestions are welcome. But one thing I'd like to point out real quick is so the initial piece of automation I'm trying to stand up is actually described right here in my document here. Let me zoom in for you. So first off, going from the left to the right, we're going to have FreeNAS, which is going to be our central storage, primarily for Cinder. We are not, for those who are familiar enough with virtualization and have worked with VMware, we are not, my goal is not to have shared storage that the virtual machines would run on across all the compute nodes. The reason for that is actually pretty simple. It's a cloud. And if I need to take a host down for maintenance of some kind, whether it's software update or something else, the whole point of deploying things in the cloud is that it's repeatable. So if a node needs to go down that stuff is deployed to, I just say, I put the host in maintenance mode, destroy anything, any deploys that are currently sitting on that node, and tell them to go and redeploy. Therefore, because the node is in maintenance mode, they'll get redeployed, but they'll go to the other hosts. Um, and so there's no need to have a central storage to enable things like live migration, because again, we're deploying a cloud, not infrastructure. To continue on, so we got FreeNAS, which again is just for Cinder. So the Cinder storage is going to hook in, or the Cinder service is going to use FreeNAS for that storage. I haven't, this is still a work in progress, so there's a little few things here. So eventually I'll have individual hosts for these computes, or for these computers. And then, so on top of this first computer right here is going to be the controller, as well as the Cinder and Octavia services. Octavia is load balancing, Cinder is block storage, and the controller is more or less just everything else. So it's going to be the primary controller for, in my particular case, since it's only just one, networking and compute orchestration and scheduling. And then continuing on, I have 3 more hosts, and these are going to be all compute nodes, and that whole thing is OpenStack. Further down the road, so that's the first layer I'm actively trying to write Ansible scripts for. The next thing, once this layer stood up, is to deploy OpenShift Origin. Now, because OpenShift Origin actually has their own Ansible scripts, there's no reason for me to go and rewrite it. In fact, they do a whole bunch of orchestration that they pretty much say, if you want to deploy OpenShift Origin, you're using these Ansible scripts. You're not doing anything else. There's no RPM to install. There's nothing else. And so we'll have that deployed, and then I have some additional plans on top of that. So in container in OpenShift Origin, that's containers. So I'll be deploying things like Plex and a few other services. And then on the OpenStack segment, there's going to be FreeIPA is going to be deployed on there. and other services that are not yet ready to be containerized. So with that, so again, I have this up on my website, automatedbits.com. You can either go to the direct link, which is just automatedbits.com/fog-architecture, or just go to automatedbits.com, and then up here is the fog architecture menu link. And right now, this is all there is, just this one picture. The goal is to eventually, I'm going to create an actual full-on tech document with a lot more diagrams, a lot more words, and try to treat it like a proper enterprise deployment, where you're actually going and saying, here's the plan, here's what we're building, here's how these pieces are all working together, so on and so forth. So this is a work in progress, but feel free to look at it as reference. This is pretty much, again, I'm just building out this OpenStack piece right here. So all right, so let's go ahead and take the wheels off and go right into it. So first things first is, so I did some stuff off screen, and one thing that kind of became problematic is I was trying to run things, for example, let's make this bigger. So we have, I was trying to create a bogus domain, that was failing out. Then I tried creating a bogus user, that was failing out. And eventually, the way I got it to work, which is quite frustrating in that I wasn't able to get this auth section to work. Instead, what I had to do in order to just get things to, just to get the juices going, was I had to create a clouds.yaml file, much like this one, and I hard-coded it, wrote it by hand, hard-coded it inside of the virtual machine, the target machine, etc/etc/openstack/clouds.yaml. Once that was over there and I reran Ansible, this, and of course adding this clouds default, which is going to use this default section here, it just worked. It just miraculously worked. For some reason, I'm not sure what I'm missing, and this part is not really well documented, which is frustrating to say the least. Is there was something I'm missing here that was causing the Ansible module to keep trying to use the version 2 API of OpenStack. Now, version 2 API is very, very different. In fact, up here at the port, it uses port 5000 and then /v2. It's never going to get there, simply because there's no v2 running. But once I got this in clouds.yaml, and if I can find some way to translate that into the auth section, I think it would work. But until then, I'm pretty much going to have to create a role that generates this clouds.yaml automatically, and then have future my other Ansible roles leverage that file. So it's, I was going to do this eventually anyway. I just didn't want to do it so soon. But oh well, here we are. If anyone knows how to, be able to properly tell the module to use Identity API version 3, but within the context of this auth section of the module, I would love to know. This is driving me nuts, and at this point, while I may not necessarily use it, it's a piece of curiosity. I was like, all right, how is this supposed to work? Because it's not. And as I mentioned before, the documentation around it is lackluster at best. So with that, let's come back over. So I've already created the folder structure. I've already put in a whole bunch of this stuff. We are going to create, we're going to do two things. One is we're going to create a task to test to make sure that the file I'm generating works. And then that way, as I create the actual generator code, I can actually validate that what I'm creating is not a bunch of bupkis. All right, so let's go ahead and just yank this task over. Oops. Let's go back over here. And that should be good enough. Let's clean this out. Bam. All right. So if this task works, the clouds.yaml is valid. If it doesn't, then there's some more tweaking I need to do. Let's see. I'm gonna have a templates directory, and then so one thing that I can leverage is the fact that there is already template code here that offhand looks good, should work. And I'm going to borrow it. So let's go ahead and create these template files. Again, this should be a very quick, very easy to use thing. I'm not expecting anything fancy. All right, and then so there's that template. Now there is a secondary template, which is over here, the openrc.j2. So clouds.yaml is great for API automation calls. The openrc.j2 is actually great for when you want to do command line stuff. I'm looking through. So let's go ahead and create the file because I'm going to want this. So this is going to be openrc.j2. openrc.j2. And then I just want that. And I've never seen or needed that. Never seen or needed that. This actually is the meat of what actually OpenRC tends to be. And OS identity version, this I will need. And I have never needed this either. All right. I may need it at a later date, but I don't need it now. So with that, so OpenRC OS auth URL, OpenRC OS auth URL. A lot of these are the same values. So let me verify real quick and do a quick comparison and validate what values I truly need. Okay, that's fine. All right, OS endpoint type. Actually, I've never seen that. I don't think I need that. I've never needed that either. No, there is a clouds YAML interface. Don't need that. OpenRC username, OpenRC password, OpenRC tenant name. Project name and tenant name. Oh, they're assuming that it's always going to be default. Right. Project name default, tenant name default. I think that's safe to say. I'm not doing anything big and overly fancy. It's not like I'm doing multiple site deployments. All right, and then OpenRC auth type is what? I've never seen that before either. And I'm comparing that based off to, I'm making these decisions based on, where is it? OpenRC RDO is this stuff. This is a very basic OpenRC file, and honestly, it does just fine. There's a lot that is not needed. I've dealt with that file enough. I've kind of got it memorized in my head. So our auth type I don't need. Auth URL I do need. No cache, I haven't needed that. User domain name. User domain name. What is user? Okay, that's just default. So here's project domain and project name. I don't see a tenant name. I don't need tenant name. Project domain name. And project name. Okay. And then user domain name is just default. Actually, so let me do this. Let me bring this over here so I have a better comparison. I'll get these lined up and then I'll compare it over. All right. So project domain name. Project domain name. These there. All right. Let me just keep the same order as well. A bit OCD in that regard. User domain name. Project name. And then username, password. There's no tenant name, but there is the auth URL. And then region name. I think as of v3 it's not needed, but it's only needed if you have multiple domains, but doesn't hurt to have it there. And I think that used to be just like region 0 or something. And I traditionally saw that up here. Oops. All right. So exports the OS identity API version and then auth version. So that's fine. Now, let's compare to, let's go ahead and save this real quick. Compare to the clouds.yaml. So region name, because of the YAML, that needs to stay down there. And then we have project domain name. User domain name. Project name. Then we have username and password followed by the auth URL. Let's see. And then the identity API version. All right, cool. That's a pretty decent start. And now the main thing is, now that we've got the templates, now we need to actually put the templates somewhere. In this case, generate cloud.yaml from template and generate OpenRC from template and this up so I can get a better view. This is old stuff. Okay, these were the defaults. This was about this was other stuff. This was templates, other stuff, other stuff. All right. Ansible template. And here we go. Oops. Yeah, it does that. I like to look at the examples just off the bat. All right, template, source, destination, owner, group, and mode. The owner and group are both going to be root. The source is going to be templates slash cloud.yaml. Cloud.yaml or clouds.yaml? That was too quick to close this. It is clouds.yaml. But actually I could change that as part of the destination. So this would be etc OpenStack clouds.yaml. Oh, I should probably, so let me just real quick, copy this, put that there. And this will actually be openrc. openrc.j2, and I just realized this should be .j2. This is actually just going to go into /root/ openrc, and the only thing left is I need the correct mode. The other thing I realized, however, was what? Oh, this directory needs to be created because it does not exist by default. Find that. Ansible maker. I believe it's the file. Change file ownership, blah blah blah. Here it is. Create a directory if it doesn't exist. That's the one. Of course, actually, we validate that this guy isn't going to create the directory for me. One last task would be better. Destination. There it is. Location render template on the remote machine. That doesn't help. Owner SE source unsafe rights. Blah. Let's see if it's a possibility. Ansible template create directory. They're just gonna say file. Yeah, they're just gonna say file. All right, that's fine. That is a-okay. File. We're gonna have path. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Name, create, OpenStack, sure. All right, file, path, state. I know this is going to be directory. And we're going to want a mode. The path is etc OpenStack. And the mode is what? Mode. Let's see what I got over here. Molecule login. ls-l etc. Let's look there first. That one. OpenStack. So it is root, and it's 7. I can't remember what the actual thing is. Excuse me. I think it's user equals read write, read write execute. Group equals read write, and other equals read write. And we can take this. It'll be the same here, and the same here. Actually, let me validate ls etc OpenStack. Coming in. -l. And this one actually is just, these shouldn't need an execute. There's no reason for it. Same with here. And these should not have write permissions. Honestly, I don't even want other to be able to read it. Let's just take it out. And all right, that should work. Any problems? Any problems? Not that I can see. All right, let's go ahead and do this first time test. Wrong activate source. That's the one. That's not the one. What'd I do? Oh, I forgot to create the Python. What is it? Let's do this slowly. There you are. All right, do that. Source pip install-r requirements. Yep. Oh, there is actually one other thing, which is I'm going to need this client in order to do the test. Let's just put that there. And finally, molecule converge. I should molecule destroy, and this will need to be removed. Okay, and then admin. Do it again. There we go. All right, and with that, we just wait a bit for it to create the stuff. And ideally, this should work, and then we'll move on to gating glance. Although this has a bit of a lead up time. So part of the idea is once this isn't going to work. I forgot to set the defaults. All right. So the idea, though, is as part of the automation is it's going to set up all the prerequisite OpenStack stuff. Specifically, we can call that out over here in the prepare. So we're setting up the repositories. We're installing to the FreeIPA client, mostly to get DNS working. And then I have the OpenStack. So these are the repositories. This is the actual packages. install the SQL Server, install the MQ, install memcache, etcd, and then Keystone. And the idea is after Keystone is done, then the generator will run and it will all be happy. All right, so let's, where am I? No, all right, this is fine. Where's my defaults? I need to create defaults. I forgot to do this even though it was right in front of me. All right, so there's several defaults. One is, so let me double check Ansible managed. Okay, so I think Ansible managed is something that comes from Ansible itself, which is fine. Back over here and come back here. All right, so we want OpenRC region name. Let's just actually copy this and we'll clean up. We want it to here. Oh, one too many. All right, then we'll add the space and region name is going to be region 0. That in quotes. Oh, region 1 spelled out. That's right. 1. Do you bother putting quotes? No, that's fine. So that is the default for the auth URL. Username and password is admin. Password. I expect them to overwrite that. Why do I have OpenRC domain name twice? Oh, because the other thing did. Domain name. Domain name and tenant name. Admin. Domain name. Domain name's not here. Can't come to the phone right now. Domain name. I think that's just default, but I want to make sure. Domain. User and project. OS domain name. I actually don't have it here. Interesting. How are they determining that then? Where are you at? We're not even here. How are you getting set? Meta release notes, templates, tests. sure I'm not going insane. Yeah. Domain name. Very curious. Actually, wait. Domain. Yeah, just default. All right. Okay, so I can just put that in there. Default. Alrighty. And with that, now that should work. Now that those have been defined. Let me verify. OpenRC RS domain, OS domain name, tenant name, username, password, auth URL, and the region name. Okay. All right. Now that should work. Put a space at the end. OpenStack SDK library must be greater than or equal to 0.12. Shouldn't that be on the remote side? Isn't that what this is doing? OpenStack SDK library. Can't remember what I did. Excuse me. Yeah, Python 2 OpenStack SDK. Oh. Let's just do this just in case. Python 2 OpenStack. Okay. Python 2 -OpenStack SDK, all one. All right, let us try this again. Should skip a lot of this because it's already done. Actually, shouldn't it be skipping a lot of these because it's in prepare? Yeah, it's in prepare. Should be skipping a lot of these. Oh, is it because it's pre-tasks? I don't know. Wait, OpenRC generator. Yeah. There it is. You didn't do it. Why did you not take the change? That is really weird. Oh, this is other module. Oh, okay. I'm being silly. All right. I'm gonna take these out. Just gonna remove this. Delete. Delete the trash. We're gonna take this out. All right. Let's try that again. That's because I left Keystone in a funky state. I don't know why. I've got the Super Mario World Yoshi Land theme song stuck in my head. I think I gamed just a little too much. Alright, here we go. Alright. Permission denied. Ah! Well, that's easy to fix. It's because I didn't put this become true. I'll need to put it here, here, here. I think we're fine with that. One more time. OpenRC. Alright, so generate. Dang. OpenRC insecure is undefined. I missed one. OpenRC insecure. True. Alright, great bogus. Oh, come on. Utilizes module installed version of the open, no space, of the OpenStack SDK library must be. Thought this was supposed to be installed on the target machine, not here. Well, alright, let me log in. And then PMQA SDK. Pipe grep SDK. Ooh. Well, that's a horse of a different color. Yum install Python OpenStack SDK. Is this supposed to be? No. Is this supposed to be Python 3? Let's just do yum search and stack SDK. All there is just those two. Needs an upgrade to OpenStack SDK. Oh, I think I know what I did. I forced Ansible to be a version behind. I did that on Keystone, I think. Yep. .5. Pip And the reason being for that is because Ansible 2.7 is too new. It's throwing me off. Because I'm not on the current iteration of OpenStack. And that's why the version numbers are all off. There we go. All right. Cloud default was not found. Guys. Oh. I suspect. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I suspect that this actually does need. If I create this become true, and it will work. Because it can't read the file. This is looking better. So why could it not read the file? Oh, because it's not the... Okay, no, that makes sense. This should probably be... Let's just make this wheel. Yeah. Alright, cool. Run it again. And it should update the cloud.yaml for the permissions, and then the bogus user should bounce, well, not bounce, but it should just come back and say, why did it change it? There is no change. This is not idempotent. This should not have changed. Crap. All right, let's do a login. Sudo su dash. I should have my openrc. And then if I do OpenStack user list, might be one word. Nope, there it is. So there's glance. Create this message show. All right. If I were to, not that one. Projects, Ansible, OpenStack, OpenRC generator, source it, converge. Ideally, once it runs through again, value shouldn't change. If it is, that's a problem. None, default, none, true. The ID is the same, the name is the same. There's nothing changing. If it's not one thing, it's another. All right, the generator works. The OpenStack user module in Ansible, I would say it doesn't work, because it should indicate, hey, this user exists and there's nothing to do. Otherwise, it's not idempotent. It's part of the whole thing. I mean, yes, the end bits are the same, but Ideally, they shouldn't be reporting any problems or any changes. Cloud. OpenStack. Where was that? Because I was scrolling down. Oh, sure. All right. OS user. Create a user. State, name, password, email, domain, default project. Close that. Shift that over. Cloud, state, name, password, email, glance at foo.com, domain, default project, admin. User create user, but don't update password if user exists. Update. Oh, is it that? That might be it. Let's try that. That might be why it's not idempotent. Is because it keeps trying to update the password every single time. So this is going to change. I made those modifications. This next one should not change. Why did you still change? There was nothing to change. Default project, description, domain ID, email. Nothing changed. I'm gonna have to do that changed false in order to keep it from doing that. I don't like doing that. Ansible changed when that's what it is. Changed when false. Yep. That's frustrating, but alright. At the end of the day, I know it works. Alright, so let's get out of here. We will destroy. We're done with that. I am going to remove this bogus user thing. Want that. Want that. Oh. We don't want that. Okay. All right, the RC generator is created. So with that, let's see, molecule test keystone should work, unless it's gonna complain. OpenStack keystone clouds.yaml. Just delete that. And that's fine. Thought I had another clouds.yaml, but it looks like no. All right, so keystone test should work. And then once we validate the keystone test works, we can move on to glance. Finally. I wanted to start that last week, but complications arose. Here's the... All right. So while that's running, let's look at this. Let's take that all right. This should work. This will work. I don't know what happened there. That's a hard one. All right, finally glance. Out. All right, that's running. Oh, gotta remember to do that, otherwise the IPA client is going to fail. All right, so that's going to run for a bit. So let's take a look at Lance, and that's fine. I don't want that in a sec. Let me make sure there wasn't anything else going on. So identity, that out. This is Lance keystone. Okay, configured that, yada yada yada. Create domain projects and roles. That's just for pretend. Verify operation. This is okay. That should be fine. Environment scripts. All right. With that, I think Keystone is finally complete. All right. Alrighty. All right. I gotta stop that. First, we will want to create the database. Sorry. Where's SQL? OpenStack SQL. So first off, we need to modify the SQL I'm just blanking. Wow. All right. That's distracting. We need to create glance create the database, the glance database, the glance user, and then from there we can take advantage of the OpenStack user create, role add, service, endpoint, and then finally install glance itself. So let's first look at creating the database. I believe I already actually have that in there. Yep, create glance. Ooh, that's a typo. User and privileges. All right, so the database is already done. Having an extra line at the end. Guys, going. There, just did keystone and glance. Main. Yep. That's true. That gets done. Okay. All right. So SQL is good. All right, that's right. I'm testing keystone. All right, so I'm a bit all over the place. Glance. Molecule. That's fine. Converge, roll, glance. Got all the... Oh, this isn't quite right. I'm going to need this, not that. Where is it? Keystone. Playbook. This, I need that. Dude. And I will actually need one additional thing, which will be the generator just created. OpenRC generator. And I don't need to provide any values because the defaults will work just fine. And that should be good enough for glance. All right, so next we need to actually test. Yes, Keystone was a success. Get status. Let's check the diffs. Fixes. Oh, I fixed that as well here. .5. Taking of it. All right, yada yada yada. That should work. That works. Okay, what was this? Vars main.yaml. Oh, I put that in the main.yaml. I don't want that in there. Vars. Take this out. Okay. Git add that. Git commit. Fixed. Admin pass bug and forced flush handlers. There. And with that, Keystone is done. Done. All right. Did that. Now we need to actually create the glance OpenStack users. So first thing, let's do this. Create Lance OpenStack user. Create Lance OpenStack role. Create Lance OpenStack service. Create Lance OpenStack endpoint. Endpoints. Actually, this will be different calls. So this will be public. Be two more. Public. Internal and admin. Install OpenStack Lance. Configure Lance API.conf. Configure Lance registry.conf. Populate the image service database. Populate Lance image service database. Enable and oh wait, these, well, take that back out. This will be a handler. Where am I? Wrong place. Thankfully, I didn't do too much damage. Nope, nope, nope. Stop. Ants. Alright, put those here. Glad I caught that. And then actually we can take these and actually build these out right now. So Glance API. Start Lance API service. I don't need this. Okay. Then with those, we just need to add notifiers. All right. So with that, we just need to actually fill these out. But I feel like I shouldn't have any pending stuff. All right. First, let's create that user. All right. OS user cloud default state present. I like to have those near the bottom. So name is Glance. Password required. User. Okay. So yeah, there's going to be a password. So password is This is going to be a passed in value defaults because we're going to want that. All over the place. All right. This is going to be OS glance password. OS glance password. Email don't need, domain. It's default. And default project. Not have one. Update password. I should really set this to, so the idea is I'm going to want to actually set these up as, these should be initial, and then ideally after that, the password should become managed by, I plan on deploying HashiCorp Vault eventually, and then have Vault be handling the passwords. That's going to be a bit. I'll leave that there for now, because that should not be something people should be touching by hand. And then I'm going to say, first off, become true, and then changed when false. All right, next is the role. Where are you? Keystone role. All right. OS Keystone role. Cloud default name is, we've just glance on this one now. Add the admin. Oh, okay. So name is admin. Is this right? Insert cloud interface key name state present role add the project should be service, and oh wait, this is just creating the role itself. User group. Oh wait, user role. Duh. There we go. This fits better. I was wondering. OS user role. Cloud default user is glance. The role admin, and the project is right here, service. State is present. I need this again. And more than likely we'll need it as well, but let's hold off. All right. Create glance OpenStack service server. The Keystone service. And real quick, let's just say service. There's an endpoint, which we're not quite there yet, and then Keystone service. Service entity. Zoom out a bit so I can see the whole thing. All right, that's the admin role. Service entity. Hopefully this is what I want. Ah, well, what do you know? They've actually got an example right there. And of course, Windows is notifying me, hey, nothing happened. I love you, Windows. You special thing. All right, service cloud is default. State present. There, but it'll be last again. Name is glance. Service type is image. Description OpenStack image service. And as always, become true. Create glance OpenStack image service type. Interesting. Oh wait, that's the type. Okay. All right. Now for the endpoints. Okay, that's it. All right. Look at the example. Ooh, I don't want that. They doing this again here? Create a service for glance. OS Keystone endpoint. And then they do indeed do the endpoint interface public. Okay. So that was right to call this Keystone endpoint cloud default service glance endpoint interface public URL. I'll give that in a sec. Region 1 state is present. Come true. Verify this. All right, so this should be we're at 9292. This should be what? Let's do controller fqdn. And we'll just default this to Ansible qdn, surround this in quotes, and we'll surround this in quotes. I like to put spaces here to make it a little bit easier. Not do that here. What was I thinking? All right. Oop. Click. All right. Just take this. Paste. Paste. This is internal. And this is admin. Go. So this would be package name OpenStack Lance state present true. And then finally, for these two steps, we're going to need to copy that, close it. We are going to need create templates. Do a Lance API.conf and a Lance street.conf. I'll probably have to add dot to the end. We'll want to create the J2 at the end just to indicate that yes, it is indeed a template. Mouse is running away. Glance-registry.conf. All right. Rename .j2. Rename .j2. And in order to find these files that we can fill them in, we will go ahead and we'll converge this role, let these things run through, install the package, and then we will copy paste the file over and templatize it. So molecule login, molecule converge. And away we go. Oh, excuse me. Be nice if this just falls into place. Is looking ahead a little bit. Do the same thing for compute. Compute will be a little bit tricky because there's the actual compute nodes themselves, but then there's also going to need to be the compute on the controller, and then same for neutron networking. But with those in place, we have a very bare basic OpenStack cluster. Then we'll want to set up the dashboard and Cinder as well. These are optional but advised, and I do plan on actually having them. Dashboard is really nice for being able to get quick status of everything, and Cinder I'm going to want just in general, not only just for the VMs I run, but especially for the OpenShift. And then the other main service that I'll want to get in here will be Octavia, which is OpenStack's load balancer, which is, again, primarily for OpenShift origin. OpenShift origin is a little tricky, where if I tell it that yes, you are indeed on a cloud, and I say here's OpenStack, while it works pretty seamlessly with Cinder, the moment that you want to actually provide more than one port to a single container, kind of need to use the load balancer for that. It's just the way they set it up, especially with their being able to hook it in with DNS. All right. A bit. Right, setting up SQL. Right, doing the OpenStack MQ, then memcached. Doing Keystone. So it did etcd as well, so now it's doing Keystone. This is all preparation. All right, preparation's done. Oh, ooh. I forgot a piece that needs to get installed, which is, let's see, name, install shade for API calls package name state present come true. Let's log into this real quick. Yum search shade. Python 2 dash shade. Python 2 dash shade. All right. Let's get out of here. Oop, one too many. One too many. Glance. Ansible. OpenStack. Glance. Source. Config. Install shade. That should come back because we know that one's going to be just right out. Oh. Unsupported parameters for OS user role, module name, supported parameters include. Uh-oh. Did I put in something wrong? Include project, date, role, name. Wait. Let's support name? Really? Or is that no, that's role. OpenStack. Oh wait, OS user role. Oh. That should just be user. Alright, fair enough. Carry on. Great, glance OpenStack user. That will do another thing. OpenStack role. Project service is not valid. But instructions say, unless I'm doing this wrong. Oh wait, so hold on. All right, no, OpenStack role, project service. All right, so let's look at the role, project service. It's right there. It's kind of right there. SERVICE. Is this not service project not accessible by? Why not? And provides no output. Alright, that's fair enough. Oop. Alright, let's do this by hand then. Log in. Because I have the OpenRC here. Do it. Okay. Alright, well, the error is valid. Why are you asking me to add this to a service project if it doesn't exist? It's very suspect. All right. OpenStack service project doesn't exist. Stack role in role add. All right, now I'm curious. Is this going to become a problem in the others? Rel. Role add project service. I mean, I've create the Nova service entity. I mean, I've seen this has happened in manual deployments I've done by hand. Project service, that's a thing. Why is this bouncing? Did I miss a step in Keystone? Keystone. Doot. Create domain project. Yep. I missed it. Damn it. It's right here. I'm being stupid. I thought I didn't need to do anything with it, but there it is. Alright. So that needs to be added as part of Keystone, because without it, it won't work. Don't need that. Tasks, flush handlers. Name. Want to create a project. OS project. Shoot. We're going to have a circular dependency problem. Well, not circular dependency, but we're going out of order here. Reason being is because I have Keystone, and then I generate, and then, right, nope, not right there. What we actually created at the beginning of this session, projects, Ansible, OpenStack, right here, the OpenRC generator. By breaking that out, I can't have Keystone create the project because right now I depend on the output of that role in order for Ansible to be able to log in and just do stuff in general. I kind of want to keep it as its own separate role. But can I tell Keystone? I might be able to tell Keystone itself to include the role. Ansible include role. Yep. And this is not the first time I've looked at it. Yep. Include role, name my role. Alright, let's just do that then. Name, generate OpenRC for automation. Include role, name, OpenStack, OpenRC generator, OpenRC generator. That's slash right. I feel like that's wrong. I've been bouncing at work. I'm doing a bunch of Windows stuff, so it's kind of all gunking up in my head. Prepare. Yes, /. And then for Lance, since it'll be doing it already, we can actually come back here into prepare and take that out. And loop control vars. The tricky thing that's going to come out of this, I'm looking at the wrong thing again, is if I ever want to break out the controller for the individual services, so that it's not all concentrated on a single controller, I'm going to need to be able to pass the vars into the OpenRC generator so that it can be handled effectively. Well, maybe not. Let me validate that. This up again. The vars. Region 1 default admins. The only thing would be the OS auth URL. And that would be passed in appropriately. What I could do, your way can go and say, if defined, then put it there. Or if not defined, don't. Keystone. Vars. Here to vars. Ansible if, well, include role vars if defined. Include role, do not process variables and parameters. What also does not work with Ansible define variables. Sample playbook. Debug. Include role. Asks from. Oh. Well, that's is very much a bug. Oh, that's reference. Doesn't expose variables to a playbook. Like to do something similar to what J2 has, or the Jinja templating, which is like, oh, if this variable is defined, do this. But I want to do that in the middle of Ansible. I don't think I can do that. And one way I can do it, which would be just really stupid and it's cumbersome, would be to go and say, well, put a when. Do the vars when this thing is defined. Else, don't pass vars. Which would be very weird. I'm being silly. Just set a default. Alright, yep. Just set a default. Alright, where is OpenRC generator? Move this over here. I want to do the same thing. OpenRC OS auth. Default. Bam. Take this and we'll do vars. That in quotes. Do dat and dat. Dat. All right. Oh, and a couple more things. Dash name, create service project, OS project. project. I don't need that. I don't need that. Project. I'm gonna do cloud default. Yeah, why? Sure. Present. Don't like it there. Name service. Description. I'll need that. Domain ID. Need that. Enabled. True. Just service project. Service project. Domain ID default. Please say domain. Does it have to be domain ID or just okay? Oh, aliases is domain. All right. Well, I like that better. There. Enabled to uppercase. All right. First, let's just test this in glance. Actually, I can't test this in glance. Well, I can, but all right. Molecule destroy. Delete that. Hold on. App. Just keystone. Source. Molecule converge. We'll test this new section in keystone converge. Once we validated that that works, we'll bring it over and we'll test it in glance, and that piece should work. Let's just go through and clear it up. And I'm suspecting I'm going to need to change when false on this guy because for however they made this, it's not idempotent. I don't know what they did. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'd like to know. But from what I can tell, this is not, these OpenStack modules that Ansible have are not idempotent, which is frustrating. But we will survive. Repos. Install all the automated bits. Corp off. This is a lot better than where I was last week. Last week I was getting ready to just pull my hair out. I was fighting all sorts of things. This is good. Got a bit more steam in the locomotive. Got some momentum. For IPA client. Do the thing. There we go. And the system monitor just for fun. It's always interesting to see how much of a load this thing is getting. Oh, excuse me. Why is this guy getting so much network traffic? This should be all self-contained. That's the point of the pulp server. Now I'm curious. Oh, not that one. CD projects, Ansible, OpenStack, Keystone, source, login, at Etsy repos.d. Nope, nope, nope. At Etsy yum.repos.d. Dar. Yep, that's the pulse server. There's nothing reaching outside. Why is that registering on my NIC? Weird. Meh. Meh. Now, if that's truly going outside, that's a different problem. That will be a whole of a different color. Revel in my very bad accents. Oops, sorry. Oh. Alright. Why is this part taking so long? Oh, it's the SE Linux. Alright, that's valid. That one takes a while. Oh, excuse me. Install the SQL packages. Figure SQL. Start the service. It's a handler. Me oh my. It's 5. Clean up all that SQL stuff. Set up glance. Install the RabbitMQ. Restart the MQ service. Add the MQ user. Memcached. etcd. And finally, Keystone. Oh. Cheerio, Keystone. Oh, excuse me. Keystone DB sync. Bootstrap the Keystone. Set it up. Restart. Oh. That's nasty looking. What happened? What the foo? Bless all. This is weird. This is a lot the same thing. This is coming from the OpenRC generator. And it's generating the cloud.yaml. Unhandled exception occurred while templating OpenRC OS auth URL. And that's the thing I'm passing. Recursive loop detected in template string. What? No. No, 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 no. Why would this be a recursive? No, that's not supposed. Eh? Oh. Is this the problem that they were looking at? That this? Do I still have that open? I don't have that open. Damn it. Ansible import role. Oh, wait, was that? No, that was include role. Include role vars. Bars value from task. Troubleshooting passing variables. Ha! Variables not defined. Really? I'm seeing this issue. Is there anything I need to help? Yeah, fix it. Oh, was he the reporter? Oh. All right, fair enough. He's just asking. That's fine. Two, 231, 241. This appears to have been resolved in 244 release. Quote. Break a bracket. Roger, roger. You know what? Let's. Bars. No. There's. No. Defaults. Let's just call this. Oh, oop. What's auth URL? And then we'll change this to here. Maybe it's getting confused by the name? I can see that. Very poor taste. Come on. Skippy. Everything should be fine. Nothing to see here. There we go. Alright. Well, that's an easy enough fix. OpenRC. Nope. Glance had it. Yoink. All good stuff. Bam. Bam. Boom goes to dynamite. Alright. Do that again. Ah. Why? I mean, cloud default was not. Wait, did I do become? Ah. That's why. Become true. Elevate to your true status as root. Do it. Hey. All right. For item potency's sake, let's try this again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put the changed when false back into that module. Please be item potent. Please be item potent. Do it. Hey, that one's item potent. All right, cool. So that is all well and good. And where am I? Converge. Let's do this again. I need you to be removed. Molecule destroy. You start the converge. That's been deleted. That is being deleted. That is deleted. All right. Now we get to wait for that one. Plans should get a wee bit farther now that the service project exists. Wrong thing. Excuse me. Yep. Right here. This is where it was failing before. It was the OpenStack role project service. Create the glance OpenStack service. Ideally, all those are idempotent. Hopefully. Got karaoke in my head and just won't stop. Just like the train, can't stop, won't stop. Just really wish a lot of this stuff wasn't so long. Excuse me. Install the packages. How are the packages? What is eating my bandwidth? It's not that. Can't be that. Or could it? Can't be. Otherwise, the sending would have been up as well. Trumpeting is eating my bandwidth. I don't like it. Not one bit. Grr. Yeah, I'll have to look at it later. It's not being solved now. Install the packages. This is probably the most frustrating thing about DevOps is just the waiting of all the things. Install SQL. There's the keystone. Okay. Service project. Go. Create the glance OpenStack user. Create the glance OpenStack role. Create the glance OpenStack service. Endpoint. Internal endpoint. Admin endpoint. Install glance itself. And with that, gonna be a bit long. Here we go. Alright, before I move on, let's go ahead and rerun the converge in order to sniff out anything that is not idempotent. Ooh. Man, it really looks like the user is the only one that doesn't seem to be idempotent. I don't know why. Alright, well, alright, so now that that's there, let's log in. And sudo cd etc glance. And the first thing we'll look at is the glance API and then the glance registry. So less glance API. Excuse me. Wow. That's a large file. I'm not copying that by hand. All right. How did I SCP this before? Templates. SCP. Really? Don't have that. Molecule port? Port? Nope. Global status. Vagrant. Oops. Oh, stop it. I mean, it's the same either way. Alright, Vagrant port. There should be a way to say output the host port that maps to the given guest port. Ah, name. Alright, so global. And then the name. CentOS 7.5. Oh. CentOS 7.5. Of course. Thank you. 2201. Alright. SCP. Ah, damn it. That's not going to work either. Because the SCP, it's going to ask for a key. I don't have the key. How did I get this over before? Oh. System CTL status sshd h. It's loaded. Start SSH. Okay. And then I would be login at, let's see, D. 1022 is the IP I want. So SCP, let's see, glance API, do 10.02.2, 22, should be fine. Put that there. Yes. No. Needs to be me. Permission denied. Okay. SCP, glance API to 10.22. Yes. Yay. All right, and then do the same thing. The registry. There. Systemctl stop SSH. I don't like having SSH on my developer machine any longer than it needs to be, because it really shouldn't be doing that. All right. And then, okay, so they've got those permissions. That's fine. Oop. All right. Move glance. All right. And glance star. Do templates. And if we come back over here, let's just delete these existing ones, because we're just going to take these and add .j2. Oop. Boom. Rename .j2. Boom. Yeah. All right. Don't need that. Don't need that. Do. Keystone. With that. Glance. And in the endpoints, here we go. Stop that. Am I running over wires? I hate it when I run over wires. Okay. Rolly chairs on carpets don't work. All right. Excuse me. All right. So I've actually done this once before with the keystone templates. Database. Oh. Okay. Database. All right. Here we have the connection. MySQL plus pi MySQL. Glance. Is that right? That syntax right? Double? Yes. Glance. DB. Pass. Yep. Glance DB pass at DB host / glance. And do keystone auth token auth URI GDP : 5,000. This is going to be keystone host this is auth URI. This should be the same for auth URL, which should be down here. Section, apparently not. Wait, deprecated complete public identity API. This endpoint should not be an admin endpoint. Unauthenticated Wait. Deprecated for removal since Queens. Authenticate URI. Alright, so now I want to double check something here. Installation guides. That one. Please. That's supposed to be an install guide. Why is this link no work? Do this here. Right here. Ah, they've moved to Python 3 as of Pike. Or, sorry, Rocky. Alright. Aha! Alright, that's fine. Let's actually go ahead and put that in. So www authenticate URI equals this. And then there's no auth URL. There is one. If user is not, if this option is different. This option was considered harmful and has been deprecated in M release. It will be removed in O release. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Not one bit. Alright, what section is this part of? Eh. Surely, what section is this part of? That part by default? You know, there's an easier way to figure this out. All right, auth row 1276, and then yeah, it's in default. You know, I'll just put this here. Mem cached services. Plus environment key where the Swift cache object went. Here we go. All right, mem cached servers equals find that value again. This will be slightly different though. This will be mem cached host. All right, and then auth type. Password. Project domain name. Project. Apparently that's not in there. Project main name. Okay. Make sure the rest user domain name. Project name. Oop, an extra character. All right, project name, username. Where's this? Slow. All right, so those aren't there. So let's just go back to Keystone auth token. Come to the bottom, and then we'll put project domain name, user domain name, project name, user name, and password. And we'll put, this will be Lance E EW. Lance E, their name. glance project name, glance domain name, and what? User domain name and glance project domain name. And I don't like having nothing there. Okay. And then paste deploy. Flavor. Keystone. Let's set that as a default. I want to configure around that. All right. So real quick, before I go to that last section, I want to make sure that these values are in the defaults. Boom. All right, keystone host. And cached host. Boom. 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 Okay. Okay. Then default values there in a bit. There. And let's finish this one up. Glance store. Stores. File HTTP. Register the storage backends to use for storing disk images. Ah! Swift, RBD, Sheepdog, Cinda, VMware. That's an interesting thought. Have Cinder store it. Yeah, I'll have this as a value as well. Glance file stores. Let's pull that one. Nope. I'll have this one just default to file and HTTP. What's around that? What did I just do? File HTTP. I'd like to have Cinder, but grab this. There's that. All right. Then we have default store. that over as well. Default file. And file system store, data store. Cinder catalog. In the Cinder endpoints, information to match when looking for Cinder in the service catalog. I'll have to keep that in mind. Related options, Cinder OS replay. But that's all stuff I could. Good to know. File system data store. File system store data dir. And file system store data dir. I would probably want to do something where that there for now. And then we'll put for our lip glance images. Let's also put inside the template something that says if defined ninja do if variable defined. All right, and then we'll put if this is defined percent and curly brace larg, and then percent and if percent. Okay, there we go. That one could be optional in the future once I start looking at doing Cinder as part of the whole thing. All right, with that, Glance Store is done. Okay. Close that. Glance registry. Database. Excuse me. Connection equals MySQL plus pi MySQL. Glance. I probably closed that file prematurely. Yank that guy. Same thing, right? Glance db pass, db host / glance. Okay. Keystone auth token. Keystone auth token. Actually, is this the same thing ish? Auth URI, URL, memcache servers. Let me duplicate, yank it out, pull this over. Here's the registry. Here is the API. URI, URL, memcache, auth type, project domain name, user domain name, project name, username, password, flavor. That's all the same. All right, just calm down here so I'm not confused as to where I am. But what that means is now I can take this guy and do the same thing here. Doot. 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 Oh, no. I already messed up. Damn it. Control C. Control V. Memcache. Control C. Memcache servers. Control V. And all this hobberbaloo. There. That should all be the same. There's no reason it should be any different. Okay. KKK. Oh, right there. Oh, hey, you just... Hey, nappy-headed sloth. Hey, how's it going? Glad you make it. How's your stuff at work going? I think last time sorry. I was deep in concentration. I was staring intently at those characters. How's it going, man? Oh, man. Oh, so actually, since you're here, in case you're interested, I did put at the beginning of the broadcast, but since you're just now joining, let me show you my little update. So, what did I just do? Never mind. All right. So, as I'm sure you might be aware, down below I've got a link to my website, Automated Bits, and hold on, gotta sneeze. All right, it's gone. So unsatisfactory. So at the top here is fog architecture, and if you click on that, it's a work in progress. All that's here is the image. Eventually, I'll have like an actual full tech doc, but here's pretty much what I'm building out for reference. And like I said, it's work in progress. So right now, I'm working on this OpenStack layer right here. And then eventually I'll put OpenShift on top of that and put more and more stuff. But I just wanted to point that out. So that is out there. And I call it fog just because it's literally cloud in the basement. And that's effectively what cloud on the ground is fog. Aren't I clever? I'm not overly proud with that one, but I'll stick with it. Oh, that's good to know. So, keep the one thing to keep in mind is that this is a very basic architecture. All I've got is literally the FreeNAS and 4 hosts, but this is effectively what I'm using as a base, and I'll start building it out. Oh, nice. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's a work in progress, and it'll be pretty cool. All right, so let me jump back over here and fill in these defaults. Really should have called these keystone. I'll leave them. Keystone username, just default to glance. Keystone password is password. Project name, default key. Domain. Project. This is wrong. Project name, that should not be project name. That should be Project, oh, service. There. Okay. Memcache host, I'll default to this and this. It'll be all good. All right. And let's create the tasks. I can put these files in, like the database. Template. I should have a template here. Here it is. I want to take that template. Oop. All right. Template module. Source. Destination. Become true. I also need the mode. And source is templates. Glance API.conf.j2. And that'll be etc glance API.conf. Check the mode. ls-l etc glance. The mode is actually owner. Come on. Is root. The group is glance. And the mode is user equals read write. Group equals read. That is going to be true for most of these. Let's copy yoink. Glance registry. Again here. Registry. Okay. And finally, hey, welcome back. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. It'll definitely grow. That's just this is how I get my core services, and then eventually I'll be putting more stuff on there. But yeah, I appreciate the share. All right. Glance DB sync. Run as glance. This looks very familiar to Keystone DB. Where did I do that? Did I do that? Handlers? No, not meta. Keystone manage. Aha! Hey, I can use this. I can use this again. Let's use it again. Defaults. Nope. Wrong. Handlers. There we go. Bam. Is that correct? That is correct. Let's tweak this to be glance -manage db_sync become yes become user glance OpenStack glance API. All right, so now I need to put the notifies. The notifies will actually kick off the handlers, which would be a lot better because that way if they ever do get changed, like if the config changes, it automatically knows to restart the service. Where are all of my notifies? All right, so Keystone config file. Let's put this side by side. So glance on the left, Keystone on the right. That's misspelled. There. Glad I caught that. Close a couple of these files. Okay. Oh, so much here. All right. I need that. Need that. Open role service endpoints. Install OpenStack Glance. Configure the API and the registry config. I'll do notify. Brain fart. That's not right. I want this guy. Yep. Keystone DB sync. Bam. Take that. Put that there as well. This will actually be fine. I have another notify in here. Restart web service. Okay, those configs as well. So let's go ahead and notify this service as well. There we go. There. Is there anything else that would require plants to get restarted? Well, if this one updates, yes. Oops. Notify. Okay. Oop, wrong indentation. Okay. Create the glance endpoint. That should really be a one-time thing. Service, there's the role. User. Alrighty. I think we got it. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see what we got. I am in the right place. Converge. Go. Oh, back is killing me. Probably too much leaning forward. That's the one downside of doing everything on the laptop. Alright. Install Glance. Oh no. Glance deep. Oh. That's misspelled. Where'd it go? DB. DB. Oh, that's why it's complaining. It's not defined actually. First off, that is, let's find that and fix that. Which file was that? That's the API. I'll probably have to find it in the other one as well. This should be DB. Okay. Take over here. Bam. This should be DB. Oop. What'd I do? Undo that. B. Save those. All right, so yes, the glance DB password is not even here. Let's put that in the defaults. Default to password again. Oop, nope, stop that. I do want to verify, do I have DB host in here? I do not. That should be defined. There. And again, just set this here. It's all the same host. All right, let's run it again. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me. Glance API, Glance registry, Keystone DB sync. Hey, yes. All right, looking good. Now, there should be a verify step. Let's look here. Of course you're not. If I go back one, verify operation. All right, let's do, can I get, that's on the internet. My guy, get out there. I suspect not. I don't think that VM has internet access. King Google. Yeah, find out if I spelled it right. Nope, can't get out to the internet. So how do I get an image in there to verify? Oh, that's actually easy. Systemctl start SSH. We'll start the SSH on the host, and then from inside the server, we will actually pull in via SCP the image file. This will probably be under downloads. So let's do downloads. Oop, oop, oop. Which wget? Okay, wget is there. Let's find this file, download it real quick. Boom. All right, and then grab our file name from here, go inside our VM, and we'll just put it, let's just put it the root. Permissioned, oh, it's because I'm vagrant, duh. Let's just do it here then. All right. Now, if we come back to their instructions and we do this OpenStack image create, pass the file in those, it should be good. Move this to the side so I can use it as a reference. Do that again. I need to be root because that's where our OpenRC file is. Do that. OpenRC is telling OpenStack how to get into itself. And then if we do OpenStack image create Suros file, going to be at /home vagrant Suros image -- disk format ucow2 container format is bare, and I'm not British, so I won't spell format with an E. And we'll make this a public image. Do it. Uh-oh. Internal server error 500. Oh, why? OpenStack image create Suros. What's going on? cd var log. Do it real quick. Systemctl status OpenStack glance API. Okay, it is running. May not be happy about something though. What's going on here? Okay, that's just deprecation warnings. That's fine. Var log. What do we got? There's glance. Wah, wah. Unable to parse connection string http://client-1. What? Unable to parse connection string. Oh wait, is this the, let's check my file. It's the glance API. Client dash client -1 .test.int looks fine. Dedicate URI client -1 .test.int :5000 and cached. What's the problem? You error. Oh wait, this is memcache. Memcache does not like this. Oh wait, that's probably the wrong URL. Memcache. It's the wrong port. Of course it's gonna be wrong. And there's no HTTP to boot. Alright, let's come back to our files. That's an actually pretty easy fix. Oh, there it is. Memcache servers. Let's drop this. And that's going to be port 112.11. Let me verify that that is still the case, because I'm not on Rocky, I'm on Queens. You can tell up at the top here. And also in the URL. I got Queens in the URL. Queens is, or Queens and Rocky is the code name of the current release. 112.11. Alright. Yep. 112.11. I gotta fix it here. And I gotta fix it here. 112.11. Okay. Alright, and then instead of fixing this by hand, converge. Should fix the two files. It should restart the services. Might try to restart the DB sync. That could be a problem. We'll see. Okay. Log in. Sudo su dash. And then we'll do the where to go. OpenStack image. There we go. Oh, I forgot to do the OpenRC. Yes, this is promising. And then one OpenStack image list. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yes! Glance is complete and ready to go. Nice. What's glance configured? What is this? Oh. No, I don't care about that. Alright. Rocky Pike. Yeah, it's fine. Nice. So we got glance running. Now Nova might be a little tricky because Nova does require to be ran on multiple hosts. Yeah, there's the controller node and the actual compute node. I'm gonna have to do some fancy inventorying with this in order to get this to work. And some futzing around with Molecule possibly in order to get Molecule to stand up things the way I need it to. But that's a problem for another day. This is awesome. So now I have a fully working Keystone, a fully working Glance roles. I have an OpenRC generator so that Ansible knows how to log in with OpenStack. etcd, memcached, this is a great start. All right, so let's go into Glance. Let's commit these files. Hit add, hit status. Everything looks good. Commit. Let's see. Working Glance module. Let's see. To do, we do need to add tests. I was kind of not following good procedure. Bad, Daniel. I did not write the test ahead of time. Need to be written. but we've got Lance does basic configs, does basic configs, basic handlers of the services. It's all good. It is all good. All right. Stack. Okay. Should be fine there. Let me just make sure. I'm actually getting ready to wrap up. I want to make sure, because it is 10 o'clock. I want to make sure I'm not missing any unchecked files. Aha! OpenStack SQL, Keystone, and the OpenRC generator. Let's go to the OpenRC generator. Get status, get add. Okay, get commit. Working OpenRC generator to do again, write the tests. Status, let's go to OpenStack SQL. And yep, this is for the glance stuff. I still didn't write, or did I? I remember this one I might actually have test for regarding glance. Tests. Keystone. Nope, I didn't do it. Man, I'm really off my game on this. All right. Get add, get commit. Added glance functionality. You know, if they removed the programming category in the Twitch menu, they did. Twitch, as of a couple weeks ago, opted to replace categories with tags, and there is no programming tag. Instead, they have a software development tag. What are actually the other tags I use as a basis? Because unfortunately, there's not a lot for stuff like this. Software development and engineering. Those are pretty much the two main tags that have to be used for this. It's not a lot of people are happy. I do wish they had kept the categories in, had enhanced them with tags, but that's Twitch. Okay. Add class functionality. Oh, to do right. Glance tests. Keystone. And this, let's look at the diff. What was I doing? Yeah, it's, I agree. The categories were a much more consolidated, quicker way to find stuff. And I think they like I said, I think they should have added tags in addition to categories. That way people can go and say, I want to look in this category, and then filter additional stuff by specific tags. And their tags aren't that great either. Like, it'd be nice if, because like what I'm doing right here is DevOps, so it'd be nice if I could add a DevOps tag. But if the tag doesn't exist, and has not yet been curated by Twitch, then I can't do anything. It's most unfortunate. I'll leave it at that. All right. OS auth. Okay, so yeah, this was adding in Oh, this was adding in the service project. All right. Oh, get add. Get add, not gut add. All right, I'm losing it. Git commit. Added missing service project. There. No, actually, dash amend. To do, write the frickin' tests for service project. Okay. All right. One last verify. That is all the changes. They're committed. They're now version controlled. Everything is awesome. Now that song is stuck in your head. Don't worry. It backlash. It's stuck in mine too. All right. Well, I think that's gonna I'm gonna call it a night with that. This is actually very good progress. So as a quick recap, I created an OpenRC generator, or OpenRC generator role, so that Ansible has credentials in a known place, so that it can log in and make OpenStack calls with the OpenStack modules. We fixed Keystone to be adding the service project, which is needed as we install these additional OpenStack pieces. We got Glance working. Part of that was adding the Glance permissions into the SQL database, or verifying that they were there, and then finishing up the Glance role. It is working. It appears to be idempotent. And I showed off my nice little diagram for what I'm actually trying to build. I actually made most of this diagram in the middle of my lunch. I just ran out to my car, pulled out my iPad, and just made the diagram. And then when I got home, I quickly uploaded it and put it here. I've got a lot more work to do behind the scenes on filling this documentation out. But at least now people have a visual reference as to what in the world am I doing. So next session, the plan is next session. Now that we've got Glance working, we're going to get Nova up and running. I suspect I might have a little bit of frustrations. I gotta do some slightly advanced Ansible stuff, because this compute role does require configuration on the controller as well as each of the compute nodes. So I'm gonna have to figure out the best way to handle that. Thankfully, I'm definitely not treading new ground, but I can find out how other people are doing it. One of which is actually the OpenShift origin. They have it where, as long as you categorize nodes under the right name, it will know how best to reach out and do the different taskings. Excuse me. I'll probably leverage the same thing, but I got to look into how they did that. And now, excuse me. That will probably actually be the entire section, or the entire session next time, is dealing with Nova. Nova's not complicated, but it's got some quirks. But the nice thing is, once Nova's done, and then if I can get Neutron up and going, I'll actually have a working OpenStack, at least a bare minimum OpenStack where I can actually spin up virtual machines. We will eventually have to I'll want to do the dashboard, and I will have to do Cinder. But that's a bit in the future. So yeah, I think now that I've gotten past a few roadblocks, the momentum's definitely picked up. I think the only thing now that kind of hits me as far as time-wise is um, um, the just how long it takes to spin up the VMs. It's a little long. I don't know of a good way to shorten that up, unfortunately. Yeah, I left Glance running. Hold on. Projects, Ansible, OpenStack, Glance. Source, molecule, destroy. And yep, that should be good. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll try to get this, or at least tell YouTube or tell Twitch to be uploading this to YouTube for archival purposes. And if you guys feel like you missed something or want to look back, that would be the place to do it. Yep, I should do. There. All right, now I'm all cleaned up. So, yep, thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday from 7 p.m. Mountain Time to 10 p.m. Mountain Time. And I think that's it. Well, again, thanks for joining. Hope you have a wonderful night, and happy coding. Night.